consumed a whole star of merit just to give him a second life. Is this the meaning of bless his junior? Lin sincerely thanked him. Bai Shen told Lin not to worry about it. When Lin arrives at the Yuan battlefield, just kill more enemies. Bai Shen officially told Lin about the Yuan battlefield. He told Lin that the war fortress of the Shenxia Empire is called the Eternal Great Wall. There are a total of 9 fortresses, arranged in a row, separated by over 1,000 kilometers, which constitutes the Eternal Great Wall. Both Lin and Bai Shen were standing on top of a wall. Bai Shen told Lin that the fortress they are in right now is the first fortress, and it is also the front line. Unlike other countries that often need help, the Shenxia Empire has never been breached by abyssal monsters since the completion of the Eternal Great Wall. There are many dungeon entrances in the UN battlefield, but abyssal monsters will prevent humans from entering dungeons or ambush them at the entrance. The battle before the dungeon is the most intense and dangerous, so Lin must be careful. He told Lin that he should buy more teleportation stones that can teleport back to the fortress. That's all Bai Shen has to say before going. He told Lin that the rest is all up to Lin now. Then Lin tries to go into the wild. When the guards on the gate see that Lin is level 22, they ask Lin if he came with his parents. They try to warn Lin, saying that the weakest monster outside is level 30, and abyssal monsters will appear too. It's too dangerous. Lin thanks them and says he will go and see. When Lin goes out, he sees that the abyss aura is too strong, and the visibility of the area is very bad. Lin is just walking when suddenly his skeleton armor gets activated. It was an attack. Lin couldn't see it because it was an invisible monster. Lin's skeleton warriors come out, swinging their swords using Rage Strike. When the skeleton warrior hits it with Rage Strike, it becomes visible. A system message appears, stating that it's a battlefield ghost, and it has physical immunity. The skeleton warrior attacks with the sword again, but it doesn't work. Lin says, as expected, physical attacks don't work on it. Lin summons the skeleton mages, thinking that since it's immune to physical attacks, he will use elemental attacks. Both the ice and fire mages use their powerful attacks and strike at the battlefield ghost, and their attacks work, killing the ghost. A system message appears, stating that Lin has killed a level 30 battlefield ghost, and 300,000 experience points are given to him. Lin also obtains Soul Breath. Soul Breath contains the will of the deceased on the battlefield, and can enhance weapons and equipment. Lin is surprised that a normal monster in the Yuan battlefield can drop an item like Soul Breath. Lin thinks that since there are monsters immune to physical attacks, there might be monsters immune to elemental attacks as well. If something that's immune to both physical and elemental attacks appears, then his skeletons will be useless. So, Lin needs to be on guard. Lin continues to kill all the monsters that come his way, thinking that after walking about 2 hours, he should be reaching a dungeon soon. Suddenly, he hears a voice, looks in front, and sees some hunters running in Lin's direction, asking for help. As they run past Lin, they suggest he run away because there are abyssal monsters. Lin gets curious when he hears that there are abyssal monsters. Right after those hunters, a level 31 abyss hound comes following them. The abyss hound has 5,000 strength, physique, and 6,000 agility, with bite as its basic skill. Lin walks towards them. The hunters, while running away, see that the abyss hounds have changed their target. They think Lin is done for. Lin sees that the abyss hounds have something stuck in their teeth and realizes that they have eaten a person. Lin gets angry to see that and says, "Dogs like you should die." He pulls out his Thanatos scythe and uses its power on his skeleton. Level 22 silver-grade skeleton warriors come out to fight the abyss hounds. One abyss hound gets crushed by the skeleton warrior's Rage Strike. The skeleton warriors start killing all the abyss hounds. When Lin kills a level 31 abyss hound, he gets 300,000 experience points, and a star appears on the badge he is wearing. Lin gains 1 merit and obtains an abyss hound fang. Lin's level 1 Thanatos scythe, which is a growth-type weapon, levels up by 3.33%. It gains a new skill, Reaper. The Reaper skill will be used when Thanatos scythe absorbs the abyss souls, gaining experience points for growth. Lin is amazed that he can finally level up this weapon, realizing that he needs to kill about 30 abyssal monsters to get it to level 2. Lin looks at the abyss hounds in front and says, "Since this is the case, all of you should become my merit points." He raises his hand and uses the corpse explosion skill, creating a huge explosion that hits all the Abyss Hounds. The hunters who ran away earlier are shocked to see that explosion. One says, "What kind of skill is that? Is that young man a high-level professional?" Another says, "I've never seen a profession that can summon undead-type creatures." Lin gets another star in his badge, saying, "As I get my merit points, my scythe can also level up. It would be great if there were more Abyss Hounds, though." The Thanatos scythe levels up to level 2, and Lin's spirit increases by 100. Lin is surprised, as he didn't know that attributes would be added when the scythe levels up. When Lin killed those Abyss Hounds, it triggers another dangerous Abyss creature to move. Only its eyes were shown, but that creature is confused about why a group of dogs suddenly died. It concludes that if they encounter a high-level professional. However, the Abyss creature decides to let it go and sends more Abyss Hounds instead. There were thousands of Abyss Hounds under that monster's control. Then, sometime later, at the Dragon Frontline Post, a level 26 dungeon. When Lin is walking towards the dungeon, other hunters who were waiting there get surprised to see Lin. They're surprised because Lin doesn't look any older than 20. A hunter says, "This boy has a white sergeant without a single star, which means he is a private. And since he has a 5-star emblem, this means he is from Shenxia." When the hunters find out that Lin is from Shenxia, other hunters from Shenxia approach him. A hunter asks Lin about his level and if he wants to join their party. They mention that they are all from Shenxia and can help him out a little. Lin says, "It's okay, thanks," and goes towards the level 26 Dragon Frontline dungeon. The entry requirements for this dungeon are level 21 to 31, with recommendations for normal level 4 people, nightmare level 6 people, and hell level 12 people to enter together. Lin was happy to see that. There's finally a hell level difficulty. He said, "I've been clearing nightmare levels previously, so I'll try hell level this time." When the other hunters saw Lin going alone, they got worried for him. Lin is still the future of Shenxia, so they can't just let him die like that. They approach him again, saying that they still have a slot in their party. It doesn't matter what level he is, they'll carry him. However, Lin goes inside the dungeon without replying to them. Those hunters were shocked that Lin went in alone. A hunter from Shenxia said that going in alone into the dungeon, isn't that just asking to die? A hunter from another country makes fun of the hunters from Shenxia, saying that the people from Shenxia all love to talk big and show off. He takes out a device and says, "Let me do some investigating." All the people there were surprised because the device he has was a dungeon detector that can detect dungeons. That hunter throws the dungeon detector into the dungeon and says, "My dungeon detector can detect how many teams there are in each difficulty level within the dungeon and whether there are casualties." A system message shows that in normal difficulty, 1 party was in, and there are 4 survivors. In nightmare difficulty, 2 parties are in, and there are 12 survivors. And in hell difficulty, 1 party and 1 survivor were in. Hunters from Shenxia were too shocked when they saw that Lin has gone to hell level difficulty. "He just wants to die, doesn't he?" That other country's hunter laughs and says, "The younger generation from Shenxia is so stupid. It's the first time I've seen stupidity at this level." He laughs and asks the Shenxia country's hunters how long they think that guy can survive inside. Shenxia country's hunters shout, "Shut up!" They point their swords at him and ask if he's looking for trouble. The hunter gets scared and says he was just kidding. He knows that Shenxia people want their dignity no matter what. Shenxia country's hunters tell that other country's hunter to keep his mouth clean. If someone from country Y dares to provoke Shenxia, then they will die too badly. Shenxia country's hunters say Lin must be an extraordinary talent if he's able to come here alone. He would have been the future of Shenxia. What a pity. On the other hand, at the Dragon Frontline dungeon where Lin was amazed to see the dungeon. He said it has a completely different feel from nightmare difficulty. It feels like something has been restricted. Suddenly, a system message comes that Lin's inventory cannot be used. Lin thought that if the inventory cannot be used, then this means he can't use items and won't be able to use the teleportation stone to escape. Lin now realized that this is what a hell-level dungeon is. Lin said, "I'm sure the monsters here will be tremendously strong." And just when he said that, some monsters appeared. Those were the first humanoid monsters that Lin was going to fight in the Hell difficulty dungeons. Those humanoid monsters are level 31 dragon spearmen.